Hello friends, welcome to my neighborhood. I've been dying to do a walk around video because I can finally walk again without the boot on. As you know, I broke my ankle about 8 weeks ago now, and I'm finally able to walk, so I'm so happy to be able to walk around. Anyway, today I want to talk about Hanoi. Many people have asked me, why did I choose Hanoi? You know, what are my thoughts on Hanoi in Vietnam? Well, I gotta tell you, there's pros and cons like any city. Music-wise, it's a desert. It's nothing happening. You know, a couple of clubs and nothing basically. I thought it would be a lot better than Da Nang, where I was based. After the show I did, as you guys know, doing a production show, I wanted to hang out in Vietnam a little longer. And I was trying to choose a city outside of Da Nang because I've been there already so much, and you know, I just wanted to try something different. So a friend of mine said, hey, come to Hanoi and blah, blah, blah. Hanoi is so great, but Hanoi is okay, but not for music. You can live cheaper than in Da Nang. And, you know, there's some nice things like this lake here. I'm in the Westlake area, basically. It's Tay Ho, where all the majority of the Westerners live. This area called Tay Ho. And, well, you know, it's nice. But it's frankly, you know, I don't know, it's nice, this lake and everything, but frankly, it's no big deal. I much prefer Bali, to be honest. And there's just no comparison, and beauty-wise, between Bali and Hanoi, or even Da Nang. You know, there's great things about Da Nang, but it's getting expensive because there's tons of tourists now. Anyway, Hanoi, another thing that really bugs me is the traffic. I think the worst driving I've ever experienced has been in Hanoi. Now look at all these people here. This is quite possibly the worst driving I've seen in Asia so far. They'll just cut you off, honk constantly. You know, luckily there's not a lot of traffic right now, but usually on Sundays, weekends, well, tonight it's going to be full of traffic here. Full of kids riding on their scooters and riding as if they're never going to die. You know, it's just really something awful. And I've been cut off so many times on my bike, and people just throwing their bike on you, and you know, without regard to safety at all. I mean, they drive around like someone who's never had a bike accident. And a lot of people have had bike accidents, just they never learn, you know. So that's one thing about Hanoi that I really don't like. The driving here is terrible. The drivers are what make it terrible. So another issue is, you know, if you've been a motorcycle guy like me for a long time, probably 30 years now I've been riding bikes, you'll notice that the cement here is quite slippery. It's not good quality cement. If you're driving, you know, a motorbike here, this cement gets really slippery, especially in the rain. And in some parts of the city, it just seems like the cement is just worn down so much that it's just one mistake on the bike and you're toast. So it makes the driving experience even more you know, dangerous. I just don't like it. I don't like the way they drive here. Believe it or not, Bali has better drivers. So yeah. Anyway, I'm happy to be walking around on the street. What's up, guys? They think they're on the camera, but they're not. A lot of people in Asia, they love to be on camera. Hi, bye. They love to be on camera. It's really funny. In China, it's the same thing. And speaking of China, I'll be in China 12 days. Today's the 1st. I leave on the 12th. Hi. This guy's an example of a transport here. He's just standing in the middle of the street, causing a lot of a backup. He's just sitting there on a bike packed with stuff. I don't know what he's carrying. Anyway, if you didn't notice, I'm still walking around with a little bit of a limp. I'm not completely free of the ankle situation yet, but I do feel a lot better. I mean, every day it gets a little better and I'm able to walk better. Oh, what an ordeal that was, boy. What an ordeal. So now that I'm heading to China, I feel a great sense of relief. And I don't want you to think that Hanoi hasn't been enjoyable to some degree. It has. Especially the medical services here have been outstanding. I've had great doctors, you know, and that's one redeeming quality about Hanoi. The medical services are outstanding. You know, this is a cafe I like. You just sit there on those things and watch the lake. You know, a lot of people come here on the weekends. Oh, this guy's smoking, so let's go by as fast as possible. God, I hate the smell of cigarettes. It's so disgusting. Anyway, if you ever need medical service, come to Vietnam. Dental service, Vietnam. Medical situation, Vietnam. I can't say enough about it. So in getting ready for China, I'm kind of pacing myself because the day I arrive, the next day I've got to play a huge festival and I'm doing a master class out there. So it's going to be a lot of pressure. And, you know, my foot feels fine when I play. That's not too much of an issue. But I do have to pace myself as far as practicing goes. I don't want to overdo it, you know, have something go wrong. So what I'm going to do is, my strategy is just practice every other day until I get my chops up to a level I'm happy with. That's the plan. Motorbikes are everywhere here. That's Hanoi. And this is quite honestly the part of the city I enjoy the most. And driving around the French Quarter and other places, I just don't like it. It's too insane. The traffic and the driving is just insane. Super dangerous. You know, I don't like to put my life at risk like that. And it's not that you're a bad driver, it's just other people are the worst drivers I've ever seen in Hanoi as far as motorbikes go. I'm enjoying this little walk. I hope you guys are too. I haven't done a walk around video in quite a long time. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about was just the situation for musicians in general. As you know, I'm putting a lot of effort into the YouTube channel because I really think that there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. The YouTube channel has got me a tremendous amount of exposure. Hang on. I don't like to have people walking behind me because I sometimes act stupid when I'm not looking. I really have to get a new camera situation because I can't monitor what I'm filming on the phone. Anyway, YouTube has become totally unpredictable because I'll bust my ass, on some of the videos that you've seen here. I'll really, bust my ass and it'll get 200 views. Just not worth the effort, except for the few people that really understand what's going on and really get value from the videos. And then when I make just a walking around video like this, people love to explore. They love to see, I guess, me outside of the drumming, outside of the music, and just talking. That's the nature of YouTube. I mean, these videos also have great value, I think, but they have not a lot to do with, performance and actual music stuff. This is music stuff. The life of a musician on the road is really something necessary to see, especially for younger players. But in that regards, as far as younger players go, I really don't know what's going on in their brains anymore. The majority of the viewers on this channel are over the age of 40, believe it or not. I look at my analytics and that's what it says, that hardly any people watching in their 20s. Once in a while, I'll get people watching in their 20s, but nothing. So that lady totally distracted me. She's trying to get in the video. I just tried to ignore her. I don't understand. People see you, talking about stuff, and they're like, ooh, they want to, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, these videos have value, like I said, but they're not educational in the sense of, actual drumming education. So the channel is of great value to me because it allows me to stay in touch with everybody no matter where my travels might take me. Hanoi, I had a lot of plans for Hanoi, and then I broke my goddamn ankle and I had to cancel a lot of great stuff that I was about to do. Really, really a bummer. And now China is coming up, so I hope that makes up for it. I'm going to be in China for about 4 months, I think. I'm going to, expand a lot into China this year, and hopefully that's going to pay off in a big way. First of all, I really love the country. I love the food and the people, and they love my music out there very much. The driving is much better. There's not the level of total insanity driving like there is here. I think people are much better drivers in China. Anyway, let's walk around some more. There's all these cafes here. Apartment buildings of this style. You can see people live here. There's a photo market where people actually go in there and take photos with the Instamatic photo booths. It's just bizarro to me, but people love that here. There's another nice restaurant, coffee shop. Anyway, that's what this whole area here is about. So YouTube is a great investment for me because it allows me to stay in touch with drummers. Hang on. I was doing a video once in Bangkok, and I was shooting like this, and because I didn't have a monitor to see what I was shooting again, and some idiot, was making faces behind me and almost ruined the video. I was able to cut him out, but really, really a pity because we had such great footage. This idiot ruined it, so now I'm totally aware of everybody behind me. Yeah. Honking and horrible driving habits. I know I'm harping on the driving today, but it's really something you have to consider if you come to Hanoi. Anyway, let me get back on track here. YouTube is a great thing for musicians. Even if you get only 200 views, 100 views, whatever. It's a great thing for musicians. This guy's trying to take a picture. Yeah, thanks. I don't know what he's taking a picture of. It's this construction across the lake. There's starting to be more people around now. And, well, I'm blocked here. The bikes are blocking the street, so I'm going to have to... I'll tell you what, it's such a pleasure just to be able to walk, even though I'm still limping a bit. To be able to walk is pretty awesome. I'm gonna go up to these dragons here and turn around so you can get a look at the dragons. I love doing travel videos. I think it's such an important part of being a musician, the travel part and enjoying the travel part, because if you don't enjoy the travel part, you're going to be screwed. There's a lot of travel involved. Yeah, here's the water dragons. I guess I'm not sure what the significance is of these. It's just decorative, I guess. But it's a great tourist thing. Here I am with the dragons. It's a nice. It's like a nice sunset is coming. There's clouds and sun. Hopefully, some nice colors. It's nothing like Bali sunsets, though. Bali sunsets are really a whole other level. I feel like such a tourist because the dragon's behind me. I've got a new tripod rig here, and I can extend it. I can make it higher and lower. This is the other dragon. There's two. I hope you guys are enjoying this because I sure am. I think it's about time to turn around. Up there's just more of the same. See, there's lots of people here taking photos of this intersection. Looks like a nice sunset is coming, nice beams of light. But yeah, that's Tay Ho. I don't know what Tay Ho means in Vietnamese. Just an area, I guess. Anyway, further thoughts on the music scene here. I don't see many many players. There's a couple of guys, you know, couple of guys, but nothing of a big scene like my buddy who lives here told me. Oh, it's a great scene and blah blah. There's nothing here. Don't bother, you know, with Hanoi, and maybe even Vietnam in general. If you want to make a name for yourself in music, if you're a young guy, it's great for someone like me who's already established and can use it as a base of operations and you know, produce material, put money into production and not into expenses. So that's my goal every time I come to these type of cities, even Bali, is to be able to put funds into my productions. I'm gonna walk on the edge here. It's much nicer. I've never been to that merry-go-round over there. No idea what's over there. So coming to inexpensive cities like this is a great strategy for accomplishing goals with music. Like I said, it's always been a goal of mine to sink every amount of effort, time, and resources into music projects and not into housing, let's say, for example. I'm paying $5,000 a month in New York for a crap apartment. No. The world doesn't, you know, you don't need that anymore as a musician in today's world. You can be totally mobile and, you know, take advantage of what you call geo-arbitrage. It's really hard to walk there, so I'm gonna have to, my ankle can't take it. Geo-arbitrage means using the currency exchange, the power of currency exchange, to cut down your costs. I live in euros and in dollars. I don't live in the Vietnamese currency or Indonesian currency. All my businesses, you know, when I'm playing, I make US dollars. And my online business, you know, school, the lesson site, all that stuff, all in euros and dollars. So the Vietnam currency is not strong against those currencies. So I'm able to, you know, take advantage of the power of those currencies to make my life simpler and more productive with music. See, this is the thing about shooting with my phone. I'm having the big cameras pointed at me, and as people coming towards me, they can see what I'm filming, and they look at it. You know, they look at. Jesus, I need to find another way. I'm thinking about buying the DJI Pocket 4. It's overpriced because it's very trendy with Asian girls. But I think for what I want to do next, it's the best option. As you know, I had a GoPro and it was stolen at the airport in Singapore, believe it or not. The safest airport, supposedly, in the safest country. And it got stolen. Oh yeah. Motorcycles are starting to appear. And in a little while, this whole area is going to be swarming with kids riding around the lake. I'm glad I turned around because it's about the limit I have on my ankle here. And of course, people looking. They want to look. I'm filming, so I have to wait for them to go away. Whenever I can turn around often like that because I'm looking to see if anyone's behind me. So sorry about that. I had a great coffee at a new coffee shop I discovered earlier today. And it was fantastic because they had no music. You know, it was people working on their computers and nice atmosphere, super nice atmosphere. But then, of course, this family walks in with screaming brats. I hate kids, by the way. And the brats were like running around in the cafe and screaming. At one point, the kid was like screaming so much that the father decided to finally pick him up and leave. Because I guess they were getting the dirty looks from everybody in the cafe, in the coffee shop. And then they left. And of course, what happened? They turn on goddamn music. Shit music. You know, pop music that made it impossible to stay. So I finished my work as soon as I could and then split. This place is okay. This is the coffee shop I was saying before. But the issue is there's no air conditioning and it's open. So it's so hot sometimes. You know, you can't sit there. It's just too hot. I think it affects their business too. Maybe in the winter it's better. It's better to be there in the winter time. So as you can see, I'm taking care of my ankle. I can't walk fast. But I'm just, you know, walking casually. Nothing too hyper, and enjoying the actual. Yeah, I didn't see that guy behind me. I'm enjoying the actual walk. Just the fact to be walking. You know, I can't imagine, you know, how people handle it. They've had worse things than me happen to one of my neighbors. He told me he tore his knee ligament, something like that, and he couldn't walk for 6 months. That must have been just horrible. So I'm back on the dirt here, so gotta be careful. As you can see, motorbikes parked on the sidewalk. Can't walk on the sidewalk. So anyway, folks, it looks like I'm coming to the end of my walk and exploration for you in Hanoi. I'm gonna sit on this bench like a total tourist and look out into the lake, stare into the lake and daydream and hopefully not look at my phone. All right, my friends, thank you for watching this. I really appreciate it. Peace out.